Hello there, Buy Round listeners. It's week 2 of the Jam and Cheese Show after round 1 of the NRL. Now, I hope this isn't a bad omen, but, mate, what were you thinking running with the ball that far into the line when you've got... Mate, you should know better as well. Of all the people to run that square line into and then open... You open... He didn't even just need to find your ribs. You opened them up for him. I was watching it. It was... mate, I'm going to say it was a bit... It was great work from Felice Kafusi. I mean, but probably a bit stupid from you. If I'm being honest, you should know better.
Yeah, no. I've played with Felice a long time, and I sort of knew that he would, try come at me or wipe out, as we say in footy terms, on the ball runner. With the guy with the ball. So I thought I'd have a good opportunity, put our back row one-on-one with the halfback. But yes, obviously, things didn't go how I planned them in my head, and he got me a beauty. But it's a good learning curve for me, I guess.
One of those that works in theory and it works with the X's and O's. It's like, if you go square and then I go square, I get one-on-one with the half here.
Problem was, I thought, okay, very next set, all right, we'll run that play again. I'll just feed you early ball so you can get at the halfback, feed Egan Butcher. And then he goes and drills Egan Butcher too, and he loses it. I'm like, all right, I don't know what we're going to do here. And it was a pretty special performance by him, because I think as far as momentum goes, and how footy games are pretty much won on momentum and moments. And that was 2 back-to-back massive moments that kind of set up Redcliffe for a good victory against us. And, it was a tough day in the office.
Yeah, he was a man on a mission, wasn't he? And what's it like when you're coming up against someone like that? You got to keep your eyes up every time you get the ball. You want to know where he is.
Yeah, well, I think... Wayne Bennett's done a real good job with that kind of those kind of people he's got in his team, because he's got Ray Stone as well, who's another bloke that you look up and think, geez, what's coming from this guy? And then Felice, and you got big dominant people like Jesse Bromwich, who just spray you the whole game, especially if you're a young fella, especially if you're a friend of his. But yeah, I think he's done a great job, and they just showed us a bit of brutality and too many injuries, and I think the game just slipped away from us.
Did you cop us? Did you spray Kafusi as well?
No,
or was that just bollocks?
I didn't spray him. I remember he did like a swinging arm, and I kind of walked over and pushed him, and then, but like I didn't say anything to him.
Yeah,
and then he kind of ran back, and then we had a little giggle for a moment, and then he got a penalty, and then I had my little smile on. But no, I didn't say anything to him. I'm not a big sprayer on the field, but I have been sprayed and sledged from you.
From me?
Our first ever.
Oh yeah.
Called me a effing fat bastard.
Yes, I did.
After I tried to put a late shot on him.
You tried to do a Kafusi on me, but I'd already passed it, squared up and saw you were coming and said no.
I should have done that, actually. I should have passed it, turned around and just bumped him on his ass and told him he was a fat prick. So...
Our good's a bit of a sledge, though.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not going to rattle a guy like you.
I love it when people sledge, but I don't get around it myself unless I'm sledging someone I know, and it's a bit of a laugh. But have you ever come across?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I remember poor old Matt Duffy on the. Did you play with Will Chambers?
Oh, did I play?
Yeah. He said something along the lines of, no one likes you, Duff. They all told me in Aussie camp and Origin camp that no one likes you. And Duffy had a complex, and it was an overthinker at the best of times.
Yeah.
He was rattled, and then people were bringing it up. He was bringing it up. You could tell he'd almost wanted to go around every member of the team, be like, is that true? You like me?
Yeah, but don't worry about Dufty though, because Chambers is, you know how we dedicate extras before we go to training, and we do all our little extras. Chambers consists of going online and trying to look up for bad things that you've done for an hour and write them down and be like, yep, this is what I'm sledging him about.
Hey, did you know he did this?
No, that's serious. He would do that, and sometimes it would work out for us, but sometimes it wouldn't, and you'd just want to tell Willie, old mate, just shut up.
Yeah.
But the thing about Will is, it doesn't matter the scoreline, and that's what he told me. He told me that all great sledges, they can sledge when they're 20 points in front, but when you can sledge someone and you're 30 down, then you're a great sledger.
Not really a problem for him playing at the Melbourne Storm, but I suppose he's got a point. When you're behind, you can give someone some shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, we played against him for Cronulla, and we beat them by 30 a while ago. He was still talking.
I remember that game.
He was still talking.
Yeah, it used to annoy me a little bit when I didn't even carry on, especially being out in the centres, or actually being centre is the easiest position to play. So no wonder he's got time to sledge.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of centres, Branko Lee,
mate, he was.
We were just talking about him. He had a great game against us.
He's obviously done some work in the off season. Not really known for his defence.
Yeah.
He was all over the Wonder Kid, wasn't he?
He won a comp with us.
Yeah.
So he's been around, and geez, he done a real good job. So
hey, how was Robbo after the game?
Yeah, disappointed. Very disappointed. We trained all pre-season, worked really hard, and to go out there and put on a performance like that for our fans, for Robbo, it was pretty disappointing. That was the first round one game I've ever lost. So.
Oh yeah. This
pretty...
is how everyone else feels, mate. We've all been there. And you went off in that game as well for HIA, which has been dominating some of the headlines. Not necessarily in your game, but in a couple of others. As a current player, where are you at with it?
I like it. Like, I watched most of the games. I think I watched all of the games over the weekend, and obviously for the Knights, when Kalen came off, that's a high pressure moment. 11 minutes to go or something like that. He's come off the field, your star player. Obviously, that's going to be quite frustrating for a coach to, it's a tough pill to swallow. But, I think it eliminates so many bad things from the game, because I think the reason Kalen Ponga came off is because he was on the ground for longer than a certain amount of time. If you're on the ground for more than 10 seconds motionless, they're pulling you off.
Yeah, there is a threshold there. And there's a couple of points I think on this. It's like, you do need someone watching it from a bunker, not at the ground, because you see way more.
Yeah.
It's why our product is so good on TV, is because you see more watching it on TV. That's the problem with getting people to the games, because they say, well, I don't see as much.
Yeah.
It's the same from a medical point of view. So you can see way more sitting there, access to different angles. And this is what's pissed me off about the coaches, is that they come out and moan when a player gets taken off with 10 minutes to go and the game's on the line.
Yeah.
But you don't hear any of them moaning when their middle forward, after 22 minutes, does that. The trainer comes on and taps the head, pulls them off. They go in for a HIA, they get a free interchange that of course they're going to pass because they're fine.
Yeah.
And then they come on and do their second stint. You don't hear any of them moaning about that. It's moan when it actually does.
Yeah. When you lose the game because of
when it prevents you having your best player on. And look, and it's not about it's not about, this isn't about the 2 points. Annesley, I think, has been really strong on it, saying like, we make no apologies for this, because Matt, I've said this, like in 20 years time, if they're in a courtroom and they say that incident that happened with Kalen Ponga, were you aware of laying motionless was a sign of concussion? At that time in 2023, they'll ask a medical professional. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the question to the game's governing body is, why was that player not removed? So we know that the league is, not even nervous, but panicking about I don't even know what the word to describe it is, but you could shitting themselves about what's to come. So they've got to act on this now, and I like Annesley for coming out and saying, I make no apologies for this. I get the frustration. Like, as if I was a coach, I'd still be like, get him out there. I think he's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know he's fine. Because I know what it's like as a player. I'd never leave.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. You'd be a good advocate Bigfoot for this because, man, if I feel a slightly concussed, like, it's going to be hard for you to try and get me off the pitch because you don't want to go off.
No.
And your trainer knows that you don't want to go off either, so they're going to probably be lenient with it. Like, I'm not saying I've done this before, but I know for a fact that people I've played with would probably, ideally, the best thing for them to do was go off the field. But we're warriors, out there, we're soldiers of the, team, and it's almost a sign of weakness if you want to go off after a head knock. But
and we're wired up differently.
Yeah,
we're wired up differently, and not we're extreme, or I was. We're extreme people, but human beings in general are really bad at making short-term decisions for long-term health.
Yeah.
Really bad at it.
Yeah.
We don't consider the long-term health outcomes of our decision making in the present, because if we wouldn't have obesity crisis, we wouldn't have people smoking, people over-inducing with alcohol, all that shit. We wouldn't have it because people are poor at making decisions now for the future. And when you throw in extreme people that have this cause, this gain that they put on such a hierarchy, then never come off. Never. No. I've seen it before. I've watched myself be knocked out. I'm gone, and I know I'm gone. Yeah. And I'm saying to the doctor, I'm all right. Yeah. And I'm trying to run off the field as if to say, like, I'll be sweet. Yeah. Like, what the, like, who is that? Like, what am I doing? It's.
I was a little frustrated because that happened to me on the weekend, and then I went back and watched what happened, and I've just gone, oh, they were probably right.
Yeah, you fitted what your symptoms or the incident that occurred.
I guess it'd be interesting if it happened in a grand final.
Well, this is the thing that they always come back to.
They always come back to that, yeah.
They always come back to that, and I guess, I don't know, I think the league is in a position now where they've got to act probably with a bit of an overreach and err on the side of caution, rather than, I go back, well, people go back to the grand final example, but then I go back to the 10 years time in the courtroom example.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to see them like be lenient about it in a high pressure situation like a final series,
or an origin game.
You wouldn't want to be lenient about it. Like, people, we got to take a duty of care as like the whole organisation with that. Like, you can't just round one we're going to put our foot down, and then come origin, come thing, we're going to just he's a little bit concussed. No, you got to take all the precautionary measures. Yeah,
and I think there's no perfect solution for this. You're not going to be able to make that call as a doctor. You're not saying whether the person's concussed. Yeah. You're saying whether they've ticked one of the boxes for a potential concussion. You're not definitively saying that person's concussed. He needs to come off. When some of the players come off and go, I'm fine, it's like, yeah, we know you probably are, but we're going to get you checked first.
Yeah. But the positive I find being a player now, you see a lot less people laying down for a little minor chin check. Because if you lay down for 10 seconds, if you're slow to get up, if you wobble at all, you're off for 15 minutes. So all these milk penalties, you see a lot of them are going.
Well, Capewell did it on for the Broncos against Penrith, like late in the piece. Yeah. He's put some footwork on. He kind of got clipped on the jaw. Yeah. And he's gone, I'll get a penalty here. Laid down. And then the ref's not blowing one, and he's kind of gone, oh, shit.
The same thing.
And then he's played the ball, and then the ref's gone like, Kate, you independent doctor, and he's like, oh, what have I done?
See?
Like, there was still like, but he was trying to slow play, get the penalty. Yeah. So there is an upside to this, because I'd like to think...
the coaches wouldn't be, well, maybe Kevy was, but the coaches of the other team weren't complaining about that, were they? They were loving it. Yeah. But trust me, I get frustrated with it as well, but I'm a huge advocate for it, because at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. That's the right thing to do.
It is. And you know what else is funny? I'd probably, when I was playing in this setting, I'd go, you know what, I agree with you, Cheese. And then come the game,
I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing
like I'm not coming off. I'm glad now when I was playing that the refs didn't have the authority to send me off because I reckon I would have made a scene. Yeah. Like all right, okay, well, drag me off then.
Well, my thought process sitting here is going to be totally opposite when I'm out there on the field because you change as a human being from your day-to-day life into your game day. James Graham.
Yeah,
it's a completely different person.
Well, mate, I've met people before and they're like, "Oh, you seem so calm." I'm like, "What do you think?" He's like pointing your finger in your face, like going off.
Well, the prime example of that is Jared Warrior-Hargreaves. Is the most nice guy, family orientated, like just loves it, doesn't do anything, like just loves his downtime. And then, bro, you put him on a training paddock and he's just like, well, I can just see, that's 10 in the bin if he did that.
Yeah. Oh, don't you hate those training suspensions? I reckon I'd love for like Jared to like just switch personalities, be dead nice on the field, and then like I don't know, dropping off his kids at school, wait with his forearm tape guard, like bouncing into class, like hey, who wants some? Like, yeah.
Jeez, you'd hate to be the kid that bullied his kid at school. I reckon.
No,
he's got 3 girls. Oh no, he's got 2 girls and a boy now.
Yeah. Well, stay out the way of that. Mate, contract stuff's happening. Did you see Mitchell Moses?
Yeah. Oh, I feel for him.
Why'd you feel for him?
Well, my contract stuff was a bit of a debacle, really. It all came out probably because of the podcast, man, they're no good.
Yeah, rubbish, aren't they? Stick to traditional media.
I just guess it's tough because you got a lot of external pressure coming from like Buzz Rothfield and all these people in the media, but like they don't know what Mitchell Moses is going through. Like our contract, we've got a very short period to make as much money as we can, and our contracts, he's making a lot of money, but our contracts are publicly,
discussed.
Discussed. Probably not ideal, and he's like we don't know what Mitchell's thinking or what he's going through or anything like that. It's pretty tough. So I don't know what we're gonna do. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I reckon there's got to be something going on because, again, I'm only basing this off what I've read. Is that there's 2 options for him: Tigers and Para. And to be fair, in Mitchell's defence, it might be the clubs mucking around about whether or not we can do another year. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think
that's what I mean. Is like we don't know what he's going through.
We don't know if the he might have gone in and asked for 5 from the Eels. Yeah. And they're going, I don't know. We'll have to weigh that up. And like for me, I'd like to see more pressure put on the clubs. Like, why doesn't someone go and ask the Parramatta CEO and go, have you got your final offer in to Mitchell yet? Yeah. Like, have you put your final offer in? Yeah. Like, and you're not going to budge on that. And then the guy does have it. And same to the Tigers. Have you, like, someone should be calling them up and going, have you put your final offer in to Mitchell Moses? Instead, like, he might be still waiting. And I'm assuming this must be true. Yeah. That he's waiting for that final offer, because they're still deliberating about whether there's an extra year or what that extra year may or may not look like, whether there's a player option, club option, all this stuff that goes into it. Mate, sometimes you deal with the clubs and it's like they're on a sponsored go slow. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it just, how hard can it be?
No, exactly. Like, you just need to find the facts. Yeah. And I just think it's pretty shitty for Mitchell Moses to go through it all, because like his friends and his teammates, they're reading the same shit we're reading. They're reading all that stuff, and I wonder if they're thinking, oh, this greedy guy or something like that. Because they don't know the truth either. Yeah. Well, unless Mitchell discusses it with them, but I think it's unfair, and you shouldn't be putting pressure on someone to sign a contract. Like, it's not your contract.
Yeah, the scrutiny around the big decisions that off-contract superstars of our game are subjected to, I think, is probably a little bit unfair, and I think the clubs know that, and I think the clubs use that.
On that, are they changing the date, the cutoff date? because you know how it's November.
Oh yeah.
I saw that they're trying to make it July. So like you'd have to sign with a new club mid season. I don't know.
Well, that used to be.
Yeah.
Were you were
No, I wasn't.
Well, were you
it's always November when I was
when you were like a fan growing up?
Yeah.
It was that June 30. Was it June 30? July the 1st you could sign?
Maybe.
And it was just a rumour mill. So say, for example, let's take you.
Yeah.
You're at the Storm last year.
Yeah.
One of the superstar players. You're coming off contract.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't get announced, like sort of March, April, people go, well, he's going.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
That's
difficult.
sort of what, I guess that's what Mitchell's going through right now. It's just a rumour mill.
Yeah. And that would exist.
Yeah.
You know, people now, imagine like if he couldn't sign till July and he was going to wait.
Yeah.
Just, you know, the hype around will he, won't he stay? I don't know. There's no perfect answer for this. People say, oh, why don't we just have a transfer system? But with a salary cap sport, it's not as easy as that. Yeah. It's not like it is in the Premier League where you have these windows and there's no salary cap.
Yeah, the cap doesn't really matter in the Premier League.
Well, they've got financial fair play, but it's about as useful as a glass hammer that at the minute.
Everton, they got the same cap as Man City.
Well, we spent a lot of money, mate, but we're awful. Man City, actually, they're in a bit of strife with it. They talk about them basically got, actually, I'm not going to say it, but, you know, the owners have a way of spending some money. It was actually, I think it was a German hacker hacked into the Man City email system and went and give them to a newspaper. So,
that's a bit nerve-wracking.
Those bloody hackers, eh? Yeah, just we'll wrap up the show, mate. But it's been great to chat with you. Some team list news. Some of the big ones. Latrell Mitchell in. Who else? Radley in. Manu in. Joey Manu will be big for you.
Yeah. Oh well, I hope he's playing. He's well known for saying that he's ready to go, but he's not actually ready to go.
The old I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I think I'm ready. Jared still missing.
It's a funny thing about these team lists. It's like, as a player, I know what Craig was like. Oh, Craig was the biggest look short, play long with the team.
Oh, you know,
mate, I've named you an 18 this week, but you'll be starting in the centres.
You know, it was awful for that Des.
Yeah,
mate, he named Michael Innes in the 2014 grand final as number 9. It's like, never playing, never. Yeah. And like this is, I get why he did it, but you know the consequences for that was Mick had to deal with the questions from people and loved ones being like, oh, you've been named, are you playing? And he's like distraught, he's not going to play. Yeah, you know, the biggest game of his career at the time.
Yeah, I think it's just like they do it for, they're gonna do video, they're gonna waste their time doing video on this guy that's not even,
or the team sheet comes in, it's like, what are we? Oh, we're gonna have to change the whole game. Forget everything I told you.
I've had those tough conversations with my parents when I'd get named in the Melbourne side and I actually wasn't playing. So, but yeah, Latrell Mitchell, that's big. Hopefully, he doesn't get named in the round 3 team list. That'd be good to see him not playing.
They're a funny breed, these coaches, aren't they?
Yeah.
Overthinkers maybe, but they're geniuses, and I credit to them. I wouldn't want their job. Who else is back? Reece Walsh is in.
What happened to him? What?
Casual face fracture.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. There's a couple of them going around. How's Lodge's face?
Yeah, he's no good, eh?
Did they say a golf ball in
so like
depression?
It's like up here, and it was just like a big, like a bunker.
An indent or out?
No, in. Yeah.
Oh, like a bunk, like a
bunker hole. Yeah. It's tough too.
He carried, again, this is the thing. He has that. It was the same with Munster. Like, they just carry on.
Yeah.
Lodge was like holding his face. I remember calling it. I was like, oh, he's hurt here.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, no, it'd be fine because he ran back. He took a couple of carries.
Was that an independent HIA as well?
Don't know.
See, in that situation, they probably did the right thing, playing with a fractured Face is probably not the ideal.
He waved the trainer away. Like, that's an example of, like, you know, him defaulting to, I'm okay. He waved the trainer away.
He's a tough man.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. Another lad that's back, Junior Amone for the Dragons, has been cleared because they've something with a different court, so he can't go down for 11. He can only go down for 5 or 6. So
that's all right.
They've said he's allowed to play, which I think is good news for Dragons fans, and certainly good news for him. Round 1 in round 2, last game. That's as a player.
What's that?
Well, you get the bye in round 1.
Oh yeah.
And then their last game in round 2.
What?
Yeah. So they're playing the Titans on Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, you've got to sit through, like,
I don't know if it's
15 games of football.
I don't know if it's a positive getting the bye round 1 though, because that match toughness and that match fitness, it's the only way you can get it is by playing, and like they're now a round behind.
Yeah,
like,
and also you look at every other team that gets like a nice little mid-season break.
Yeah.
Can I have some of that, please? But oh well,
poor guys.
Yeah, these poor footballers. Amone's back. Good to see.
That's a wrap on round 1, but round 1 was a bloody good week.
Mate,
I went to the Melbourne game.
I saw you there getting your picture with your old teammate Christian Welsh. Yeah, that was good. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Did you get pictures with any other fans, or was it just you, super fan?
Nah, yeah, just me. I got a picture with Harry as well, the Houdini. But yeah, started off a good the Penrith game, the Melbourne game. Bloody hell. I
guess for everybody outside of the Roosters organisation as well was pretty happy to see the.
Yeah, I don't think the Roosters cared. No one said anything to me. Like, mate, they're still my family.
Oh no, but I mean, like everyone in the game was celebrating the fact that the Dolphins were getting their fins up. So everyone else within the game, I think, was probably cheering for the Dolphins.
The crowd was crazy. It was the sea of Redcliffe.
Yeah,
and they were loud too. They were probably one of the best fan bases I've played in front of. Like, they were singing Redcliffe the whole time, and the rugby league DNA is strong in that club at the moment. So that was very special for them, and I guess I'm not happy with the result, but happy for my former teammates, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cheers, Cheese. All the best against the Warriors this week.
Yes, the Wawas. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, bet you are. All right, cheers, mate. Catch you next week.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.